Hello, hope you're doing well. The topic of the video today is the CS Go Lotto issue, and I believe the two people that were, or the two people majorly involved, go by the name of I don't know, something Syndicate, and a guy called Martin. And apparently, I'm sure by now everybody knows the story, but I'll just do a light recap. Apparently, these two individuals are, sort of very popular YouTubers and streamers, and they had somewhat of a pseudo gambling website while using skins from CS:GO, and they were advertising the website and recommending it to their viewers, and they neglected, to mention that they were owners of the website, which obviously seems very unethical, and it is by most people's standards, I guess. But I think people have been a bit too hard on them, and I'll tell you why. I'm by no way supporting what they did, but uh, I believe there's somewhat of a problem with parents today, or people in general, and it is the lack of courage to actually admit when it is your fault or you're wrong. Now, if the allegations are true about how they corrode or enticed or try to get children to use their site, which was, I guess, for the lack of a better term, a gambling site. And there were people that are underaged. I don't blame them as much as I do the parents. Because when you think about it, since they are underage, they probably don't have any income. And they most likely, well, you know how addiction goes. If they were spending their pocket money, then that is up to the children. They can spend it any way they want. Um, so yeah, I mean, I guess it's up to them. Since it is their money. You could say gambling's addictive. I mean, I've gambled before and I've been able to control myself. If you have an addictive personality, I really believe, even if something doesn't have any sort of chemical element to it that would make you physically addicted to any sort of product, service, or any sort of item, then you could be addicted to anything. And you could argue that playing dice is gambling, since the outcome is unknown, although there is no money involved usually, that if it's a friendly game. But I mean, it's the practice of it. So by blaming Syndicate and Martin completely for this, I think is unjust. If like I said, if they did do what they did, then yeah, by all means, they are people that are heinous and not. I mean, the only problem I have with it is actually them not telling people that they own the site. And one of the other things that people are talking about is that they manipulated the results. So although it was gambling, and I'm not quite sure of the registration, because as far as I know, if you do have a gambling business, whether it be online or in the real world, an actual casino, then you actually have to register it as as a gambling store or business, unless I'm wrong, but this is how they do it where uh, I spend most of my time. So, yeah, but still, they are children, and when parents don't invest the time and effort to monitor their children, really they are to blame. So if you have your children and they have smartphones and access to the internet, the internet is a very unfiltered place. You can get pretty much anything you want, these days. You literally don't have to leave home. You can get everything provided for you and sent to you, and the most in-depth resource for any sort of information, I think is internet is second to none. That's not even arguable. But raising your children and allowing them access to the internet, unmonitored access, then that is the parents' fault. And I don't think they have grounds to, well, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm just sort of thinking morally, by shifting the blame completely to these two individuals and such businesses. Because if your child, for example, goes to a club, a sports club, like a football club or a any sort of club, a martial arts club, it's your job as a parent to make sure that that environment is one that is acceptable for your standards and your lifestyle. So, for example, if you didn't want to send your daughter to a mixed club, a mixed sports club, then, you should actually make sure. You can't just take your kid's word for it, I guess. Because, children do have a tendency to lie and exaggerate and sort of, do things just to get what they want, because their undeveloped minds and their consciousness hasn't reached that point where differentiating from right and wrong is completely developed. So yeah, that's the way I think about it. I mean, definitely gambling by any means can be very destructive, and you if you do start children young, they could get addicted. But yeah, that's not the problem of the gambling side. That's actually the problem of the parents. They are completely responsible, I think, for what the children view or what they do. It's almost like if you had a porn site and you had some children visit it, does that give you a right to sue the porn site? Although I don't believe, and I'm not sure of this, but the website actually required that users be 18 years and older. So yeah, if I'm incorrect, please correct me on this. But irregardless, I still think that the major or the largest part of the blame goes towards the parents. So please, if you disagree or if you have any comments, please comment below. And if you do like these videos or any of my other videos, please share. That would help a lot. Thanks for your time and stay safe.